Good evening, folks. Nina is back. Tonight is my kickoff of my 1952 Bowman set collection journey. I am in the process of completing the entire 52 Bowman set. We've got a couple of big boy, big girl cards in there, so we'll see. But I'm going to go after all 252. Tonight's episode really is being brought to you by Brian Roth, otherwise known as Card Soup. Brian has been so helpful in helping me find the 52 Bowman cards in good shape, centered, good quality. And he's even been able to purchase a few and grade them for me too. So we're going to call tonight's episode 1, 2, 3, Let's Go, thanks to B. Roth Brian. So what I'm going to do tonight is talk to you a little bit about cards 1, 2, and 3. In the center is card 1, the wonderful Yogi Berra of the New York Yankees. And he was actually the 1951 AL MVP since the Yankees won the series in 51. Card number 2 is Bobby Thompson on the left in his New York Giants uniform. And card number 3 on the right is Fred Hutchinson of the Detroit Tigers. Now, I know everybody kind of gives you updates on all these players. I probably can't tell you anything tonight about Yogi Berra that you probably don't already know. But what I've decided to do is keep my collection in a tiny, tiny binder, which I'll show you at a later date, and take a few notes on cards to keep with these cards so that whoever ends up with this collection in the future will know a little bit about each player. So let's start off with Yogi Berra, card number 1. His real name is Lawrence Peter Berra. He was not only the 51 AL MVP, but he was also in World War II as a Navy gunner in the Normandy invasion. Yogi grew up in St. Louis with none other than Hall of Famer Joe Garagiola. He was nicknamed Yogi by a teammate, Bobby Hoffman, because he sat cross-armed and legged on the ground with a full bench. I never knew that. He was actually initially offered an opportunity to play for the Cardinals along with Garagiola, but because Garagiola got a $500 bonus and he didn't, he said, no thank you. Fortunately, the Yankees offered him the job with the bonus, and they went on to make history together. The Yankees outfield was stacked, so Yogi was trained by Hall of Fame catcher Bill Dickey to play catcher, and the Yankees sure were glad that he was trained there. Yogi and the Yankees went on to win 5 World Series titles between 49 and 53. He is one of the key links to the changing of the guard, also from Joe DiMaggio to Mickey Mantle. I thought that was interesting. He holds the World Series records for games, 75, at-bats, 259, doubles, 10, and hits, 71. I think it will be a long time before somebody can break those stats. Yogi's ability to cover the plate when he was batting, even with low ball pitches, made him a feared hitter. Yogi went on to manage the 1969 World Series champs New York Mets and a couple of other teams. He's also famous for his Yogiism quotes, and I have to say one that I use all the time is, "It ain't over till it's over," especially when you are a Cleveland Guardians fan. Next on the left is Bobby Thompson, Robert Brown Thompson. I think most of you know he's famous for hitting one of the most dramatic home runs in Major League Baseball history. He signed with the Giants right out of high school, but went into the Air Force first in World War II. Bobby batted 32 home runs in the 1951 season, helping the Giants to erase a 13.5 game deficit to force a 1-game playoff with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And this is where he became truly famous. The Dodgers were leading 4-2 in the bottom of the ninth. There were runners on second and third, and Bobby hit a 0-1 pitch over the left field wall. The Giants announcer exclaimed, "The Giants win the pennant! The Giants win the pennant!" And he dubbed the home run the shot heard round the world, and it is called that to this day. Sad to say for Bobby and the Giants, they lost the World Series in 6 to the Yankees and Yogi Berra. Bobby spent 8 years with the Giants, then went on to play for the Milwaukee Braves and a few other teams. And that is Bobby Thompson. Of the 3 players before you, the one on the right is Fred Hutchison. I gotta say, I didn't know too much about Fred before I did the research on him. He began his career playing for the unaffiliated Seattle Rainiers with a 2.48 ERA. I bet you know all about him, Brent, don't you? He went to Detroit, but then he went into the Navy first in World War II. He returned to Detroit in 1946 and put up 6 consecutive 10-win seasons from 1946 to 1951. He spent his entire career with the Tigers. He was an excellent hitting pitcher, too. He hit .263 with 4 home runs. Not too many pitchers besides Shohei Ohtani can make that claim. He managed the Tigers, the Cardinals, and the Reds, including the Reds in the 1961 World Series, with the Reds sadly going down to the Yankees in 5 games. Now, Fred died way too young, at 45 years old, of lung cancer. But here is a very positive thing that came out of all that. Fred's older brother, William B. Hutchison, founded the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center in Seattle, Washington in 1956, and it is still providing excellent care and conducting major research into cancer to this day, and is known as the Fred Hutch Center. So thank you, Brian, for helping me track down these beautiful cards. Very well centered. In my set, mostly I'm only grading the Hall of Fame players and maybe a couple other players who are special to me. But I would like the cards to be as centered as possible, but that's not always possible. So I will post a file below that will show you kind of where I am on my journey. I have, I believe, over 40 cards out of the 252. Sorry I haven't been making videos up to now, but that's the way it goes. And I'm here tonight, and we'll start the videos. Hopefully they'll come out rather quickly. So until next time, at 9 minutes and 30 seconds, Scott of Reindeer Studios, I say, may your dream card come to you today. And for me, that would be another 1952 Bowman.